I want to talk about two different dimensions of fear that I want you to understand before you take the lead. I want to talk about the fear of failure, because many people don't go as far as they should go because they have apprehension that they won't reach their goal. They just say, I'm going to stay down here where I'm at and not try because I might lose. I'm not going to own anything because I might lose it. I'm not going to buy a house because I might lose it. I'm not going to get married because I might get a divorce. That's madness, but that's how it is.
Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. He has only made 146 of those. You know what they write about? When he make it. So when you fail, it's a part of the process. Keep going. You're supposed to fail. Shit, who you know that gets it right all the time? That's impossible.
Have you given yourself permission to succeed? Or are you so intimidated by the fear of failure that you don't try? On the other side of it is the fear of success. I want it, but I don't want all the stuff that comes with it. I don't want to deal with all the problems that come with it. I don't want to deal with the pressures that come with it. I can't handle it. I'm going to stay on this lower level. And when you do that, you are left with nothing but the hope of magic. I'm just going to stay down here where it's comfortable, but I'm believing that I'm going to get a blessing up here while I'm staying down here. You can't do it. And if you will allow anyone, any voice on the inside to talk you out of this moment, you will forfeit it and be stuck washing your nets when there's a great drought of fish waiting you if you have the courage to believe.
So deciding as you look at your life, as you look into the future and say, what fears am I holding on to that's keeping me from breaking out, that's keeping me from living up to my true potential, that's keeping me from having a sense of adventure and excitement in my life? What fears that I'm giving that permission to? Because whatever discomfort you experience, whatever challenges or difficulty that it is, you got to handle it. Will it be challenging? Yes. What do you want me to tell you? That it's going to be a picnic? No, it's not. But that's just what you must go through in order to get where you want to go. And guess what? You are strong enough to do it. This dream you got, whatever you want to do, will it happen overnight? No. Will it be a struggle? Yes. Will there be times you won't know what to do? Yes, that's a part of it. But somebody must have told people, oh, life is going to be real easy. If they told you that, I've got a special announcement. They lied. See, when you accept yourself and you accept fear as a fact, but it is not a force to hold you back. So you accept the fact that you are afraid and then you move on anyhow.
What God has in your future will scare you. But if you'll take a step of faith, you'll see how God scared you into greatness. He scared you into taking new ground. Life is too short to settle for things that are less than what you know is in you. You weren't made to go around and around the next 40 years doing something unfulfilling. Stretch, grow, take courses, learn, do your part, and He'll bring you an opportunity that not only scares you, but excites you.
What really stops us from taking the lead and coming to the forefront a lot of times is not the lack of talent. It's not the lack of education. I've been amazed at the people I have met who were highly educated and failing, highly educated and homeless. So education alone is not the solution. I've worked in penal institutions and seen people who were very gifted and incarcerated. In fact, I've seen people with less talent than you doing more than you. And this is what causes jealousy and envy. When you look and you meet other people who have less to work with than you, and yet they're in higher positions than you, you can either become jealous or you can begin to challenge yourself to say, what is wrong with my belief systems that's stopping me from going to the next level in this area? This is not about money necessarily. This is not about prestige necessarily. This is about progress. Because it's a shame to live long and have no progress. I've been washing these toilets for 27 years. At least let me be the manager of the toilet washers. I want to move up. Maybe it's wrong. Is there anybody in here that wants to move up? I'm going to point out 6 irrational belief patterns that may be hindering you from going to the next level. One of them is undeserving. I just can't see myself as being in this position. I don't deserve it. This often comes from things that people said to you or about you. And so when you see opportunities beyond how you've been programmed, you reject it because you don't feel like you're deserving of it. Beyond undeserving is ordinary. I do not want to stand apart or be different. You'd be surprised at the people, because they have a belief system that holds on to being ordinary, they will not take the lead. The third belief system that may be hindering you is social change. I fear rejection, loneliness, or claims that I have changed or sold out. And all of a sudden, in order to fit in your sociological environment, you passed up the promotion. You wouldn't buy the house that was the best deal for you because it moved you out of the neighborhood that you were defined by, because you want the people you're sitting beside to like you and accept you. Oh, and you don't want to be a sellout. The next one I want to deal with is fleeting. My success will be temporal and I will not be able to sustain it. You have performance anxiety. You're afraid that it won't last. You don't want to go out on the date because if you go out on the date and you start a relationship, it's not going to last. It didn't last before. It didn't last with Fred. It didn't last with Jim. It's not going to last. I'm not going to go back to school because I'm completed. It will not last. And you have a fear that the blessing is fleeting because you have already programmed yourself that nothing else exciting is ever going to happen to you again. The next one I want to talk about is perfectionism. I will have to behave as if I am perfect and I am not. Depart from me. Why? Because I know I've got imperfections. And I don't want to get in the light because somebody might see them. And so I'm going to be secretly talented. I reject the opportunity to be blessed because I know something about myself that I don't want anybody else to know. And I'm more concerned about the security of my reputation than I am my progress. I'm not going to get involved with him because if I get involved with him and he gets too close to me, he will see that I'm not perfect. Where you don't give the person the chance to accept you because you've already criticized yourself, you'd be surprised at the people who talk other people out of loving them. You know exactly what to do to move up into the next position, but you don't want the light on you because you have issues. Newsflash, everybody has issues. Everybody has junk in the trunk. And if you're waiting to clean out all the junk, you may be stuck 20 years cleaning out the trunk. I'm going to go on to this next one. Besiegement. Don't give me the position because if I become manager of the department, my friends won't invite me out anymore. And you start trying to prove to them that you are still who you were because people will put pressure on you to stay low. And it is true, as you go up, there are a great deal of people who associate with you because of where you are and not who you are. Because when you first start going up amongst people who haven't gone up, and they start trying to pull you down because they say, you know, you're the first one in our family to get a degree. You ought to take care of this and you ought to take care of that. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And some people, for fear of having that pressure on them, forfeit the success and stay down rather than to go forward. The inability to manage these fears creates self-sabotaging, self-handicapping situations where you're incapable of moving forward, and it makes you a chronic underachiever. The maybe they'll like me better syndrome keeps you locked into a system that you can't get out of.
Right now, are you in fear? right now. Every moment of your life you're in fear? No.
You will overcome that fear. But the hard part is, you gotta take that first step.
I am deeply motivated by fear.
The fear, by the way, is not a conspiracy. That shit is real. Everybody like, oh, fear ain't real. Yeah, well, it's easy for you to say you ain't got any this second.
You face your fears, you become the person you want to be.
To create fear, you have to use excessive imagination.
There's a lot of fear, but I understand what the emotion of fear is. It's a subconscious trigger that causes this feeling that I don't like. And it's a go signal for me, not a stop signal for me.
Everybody doesn't win. And the sooner you wake up to that biology is ruthless, man, then you get a little fear in. And when you get a little fear in you, you start listening. Because if you're truly afraid, you listen. Let a little fear come in and drive you and motivate you.
My first time I talked, I literally went up and blanked out.
If you're afraid of pull-ups, do pull-ups. If you're in squats, do squats. If you're afraid of public speaking, go speak in public.
Face your fear. It's hard. It's an uphill battle, but I know you can do it. Whatever it is that you want to do right now in your life, you've been sitting on the fence waiting, doubting yourself because you are letting fear control you, just do it. You ain't going to be nowhere until you start taking the first step. Fear is always going to be there. Give yourself the power, and the more you face your fears, the more powerful you become. Champions are made in these moments.
Because it took me 2 years to get over the fear. It took me 2 years to get over the anxiety. It took me 2 years to finally say, Goliath, here I come.
Always something. You will never ever have a problem-free moment in life.
Goliath, you might be taller than me. You might be bigger than me. You might be stronger than me, but I'm coming.
Working on yourself, watching that inner dialogue, it will determine the quality of your life.
But I want you to know tonight that we will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I'd rather give everything I got. I'd rather put in work, and I'd rather die trying.
So your fear is always about that which does not exist.
Fear. False evidence appearing real.
Being afraid of something that has not yet happened and may never happen, based on past thoughts, beliefs, and conditioning. Throughout this world, there lives only two kinds of people. Those who have conquered their fears and those who are living their fears. Those who are living their fears and those who are living their dreams because they had the courage to take on their fears.
What is the #1 killer of dreams? What do you think is the #1 reason the majority fail to live a life they love? What is the #1 reason why people fail to succeed at any level? It's not luck. It's not lack of money or opportunity. It's certainly not circumstance. It's fear.
Fear is the greatest killer of dreams that ever roamed planet Earth. Fear is that voice inside you that says you can't. The voice that gets louder and stronger every time you listen. Every time you let fear dictate your decision, fear grows stronger. Fear grows bigger. Fear is the voice of average. The voice of the settler.
Fear must die. Fear will die.
The only way you can change is to step right into your fear.
You must step right into fear. You must sum up all the courage inside you and do the thing you fear most.
Failure may come. Your greatest fears may be realized. And that is why you go in with the attitude that you will do whatever it takes to conquer that fear.
No matter how many times I fail, no matter how many times I feel rejected, embarrassed, down, out, I will not give up. I will keep at it until my greatest fear dies. I will stand toe to toe with fear. Fear will die. My largest fear carries my greatest growth. I will never let my fears decide my fate. I am bigger than any fear. Fear has no place within my heart.
Fear has no place within your heart. Fear is conditioned into us from a young age. Many don't pay attention to the stages of fear. Be careful. You can't do that. Play it safe. These consistent fearful thoughts add up, live inside us, and form our psychology, which for most turns into inaction. For most turns into average. For most turns into settling for a life they aren't passionate about living.
Fear will die. It's time to take back control.
So how do we overcome our fears? Find something that is more painful than your fear. If you have a fear of failure that's stopping you from going all out and achieving at a high level, a more painful thought might be disappointing your family, or the thought of your kids seeing you settle for a life you don't want and knowing they will follow in your footsteps. Maybe a greater pain would be the thought of getting to the end of your life and knowing you never really lived. You just existed. You got by. I need you to really feel that pain. Think about it. Feel a deep emotional connection to the pain. Write down why you won't settle for that pain anymore. Write down why you must conquer this fear once and for all. Why you must. What would be worse than your fear? We say it all the time. What is your reason? You have to have a strong enough reason why you must. They say if you have a strong enough why, the how will come, the results will come.
Why must you do this?
Be more fearful of what it will cost you if you don't do it. Be more fearful of the impact it will have on your future if you don't take action. Be more fearful of how it will impact the lives of your loved ones if you don't take action. What will it cost you? What about if you do face it? What about if you do conquer it? How will it improve your life? Who else will benefit?
Fear will not stop me if my desire to win is strong enough. Fear will not stop me. Now I am in charge. I live without fear. I fear nothing but a mediocre life. I fear nothing but an average existence. I fear nothing but an unlived life. I choose to live free, free from fear. Now I am in charge. I am in charge. Freedom! What would you do if you had no fear of failure? Why are you waiting?
Your current skill set has already taken you as far as it's going to take you. If you don't put yourself on a path to learn and very aggressively, where you are now is where you'll be in 5 years. The key is crossing that chasm of skill set.
We're all afraid of not reaching our potential, of never becoming the person we know we were meant to be. We fear being left behind at our job. We fear never being worthy of love. We fear being stupid or emotionally weak. We fear not having enough followers and friends. We fear waking up one morning and realizing our best is already behind us. Or worse, our best was never very good to begin with.
Remember, you're an adaptation machine. Your job is to place yourself under stress and then force yourself to grow. So back to Mr. Yoked, you don't get those muscles by looking at the weights. You get those muscles by going under the weight and not stopping when it hurts. You stop when you can no longer recruit the muscles enough to move the weight. That's when you're done. Your job is to push yourself to the limit of what you think you're capable of and then go past that. And when you're able to push yourself past that, when you're able to get into the Goggins reps, as I call it, when you're able to exist in that zone, long past where it started hurting, long past when it got boring, long past when you were terrified that you'd never be able to do it, that's when you'll begin to adapt, because you're telling your body, adapt or die. That's how you're going to get where you want to go.
Nobody wins the Nobel Peace Prize or writes a bestseller or even lifts a barbell at the gym without feeling hopelessly incapable at some point. The reason they feel incapable? Because they are. The skills that they've developed do not yet match up with the skills they need to be successful. What separates these people that achieve these seemingly impossible goals is that they do not see their incapabilities as obstacles. They see them as opportunities.
How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to achieve greatness? How bad do you want to achieve your greatness? Because let me tell you something, it is inside of you. It is inside of me. It is inside of every single person watching this video right here, right now. You do not understand just how great you can be because you are letting other people infiltrate your thoughts, your dreams, your goals. When is enough going to be enough? When are you going to get passionate about attacking your goals? You are either the predator or the prey. You are either getting up every single day trying to survive, or you're getting up every day ready to hunt. You have to hunt down your dreams, hunt down your goals, and when it's time for you to dig deep and start hunting even harder is when people keep doubting you. Because there are going to be doubters, there's going to be naysayers, and your job is to not prove them wrong like I thought, but prove that you're right about you. Once I decided to stop compromising my beliefs, my values, my visions, my goals for anybody else, is where I found true happiness. That's where I unlocked my greatness. That's where you can take control and take back your life. When are you going to say enough is enough and stop allowing somebody's thoughts of you be your reality? Stop allowing people to come into your zone, your world, and take control. Enough's enough. I'm sick and tired of it. When are you going to be sick and tired of it? Every time I run into obstacles, I embrace them. I've learned to accept failure not as a stumbling block, not as a dead end, but more as a step. Failure is a step to my success, a step to my greatness. Every time I fail, I'm going to pick up and take something positive from it. It might hurt. It might burn me up inside, but I know that it's going to set me up for success. I want to be in shape. I want to be the best athlete, the best fighter, the best father, the best person that I can be. Then it's no sacrificing or shortcutting greatness. I got to make an effort to be just as better. I got to practice what I preach. I'm going to focus on the one person that I can control and I can make happy, and that is me. If you want it, then go and get it. Don't wait till everything is perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. Your greatness will never be perfect. Some of the greatest minds, the greatest thinkers, the greatest innovators were looked at as crazy. They weren't ready for their greatness. They just took a leap of faith. Jump and grow wings on your way down. You have greatness inside of you. Now it's your time, it's your turn, it's your due diligence to share it with the world.
I wanna talk about two different demands of fear that I want you to understand it. Understand it, you wanna talk about the fear of fails because many people doesn't go as far as they should go. That they want reach their goal. Try just a way. I am gonna stay down here where I am at and not try because I made it loss. I am not gonna want anything causes I magic lost it. I am not gonna buy a house cause I am a knight. I am not gonna get married cause I might get a divorce. That's midwest, but that show it is a part of the process to becoming successful. The greatest brickball player in the world. He took 946 games win shots. He has only made 146 of those. You know what they write about when he make it. So when you fail, it's part of the process. Keep going, you supposed to fail shit. Who you know that gets it right all the time?